Well, howdy. We're going to try this again. I have a new microphone, and hopefully this microphone is my friend. There's more clarity. It's not as muffled. And I'm attempting another effort. I have much more sleep than I had the last time. I was quite sleep deprived and quite out of my gourd. So it was kind of hilarious, and I did get some folks who told me that it helped them go to sleep, which was a bonus round. And right now I'm just going to actually do a little bit of restorative, because it is evening here, and we've been through another day, another grueling day at home, climbing the walls, probably tearing rooms apart, and hopefully not tearing one another apart. I have the benefit of, well, it's a benefit and also a curse of being by myself. I do have 2 cats, but I miss my people. I miss my my normal life, like you guys. So I do have a blanket. It is a yoga blanket, and I just sort of folded it as you saw me, and I actually have it folded a little more on one side so that there's an incline, and that's where I'm going to lay down. And I also just have a pillow. Just any old pillow will do. And we're going to come to a nice little supine posture, which means just laying down. Many of you folks know this already. With the blanket under the head, you sort of want to find a way to smash it and mold it to the areas under the head. So trying to mold around the head and then underneath the neck. So supporting the space underneath you, and just a little bit coming underneath the shoulders. So sort of double check and keep trying to play with it. It's fairly malleable, and then the pillow goes under the knees, and you might even say, well, that doesn't feel quite right. You could bring the knees wider apart. You could also rock the pelvis and the tailbone, right? Back and forth. And then just let your hands kind of find, and it is kind of fun to play. So sometimes when I teach, and now that I'm on video, and so it's quite a bit more awkward, especially not having students that I can see and sort of see the manifestation of the movement in the student. I also have no sound, so I don't know if that's good or bad. So just kind of, when I do a lot of this stuff, it's just sort of feeling the joints and playing with the air, and it's this kind of simpatico, this kind of back and forth with what is seen and what is unseen. So with our bodies, right, we have that beautiful form of bones and muscles and ligaments and all of these things, membranes that move inside. So even just what seems like a little movement, there's big stuff happening inside. So find a place. You might even let the arms come further apart because it feels sort of bunchy where they're laying on the ground. So sort of determine, where the elbows and the underarm finds a place to rest. It's going to inform the shoulders. So you want to sort of get a sense that this has been a release for other parts of the body. And so as the body is all connected, what happens in one area impacts another area. So just beginning to come to the breath, letting the chin drop down, and just finding some breath. There'll be all of the background noises. So if you can find the comfort and the ease in closing eyes, if it's hard tonight, that's okay. You could just sort of have a soft gaze and find a focal point. Just resting, soft eyes, soft gaze. And just let the lips open and allow the breath to come in and out. In through the nose, out through the mouth. And as you do it and you're laying down, the interesting parts begin to happen as the breath starts to come into the body and create pressure. Pressure points as the body hits the ground, right? And you begin to feel the body bulge in certain areas. And so internally, right? Internally you'll start to feel a little more impact, a little more development of the space inside. Does it feel like there's a great, vast amount of space in there? Or again, is it really kind of constricted and it feels just like one big mass? Hard to know what's going on. It could be painful. It could be very sensitive. So there may be something else that's getting your attention. So right now you might not be able to focus. Try as you may. Your nerves are going, your anxiety, a lot of other things that are happening right now for you are taking you away. So just see again. If you can take the breath in through the nose and just follow it on the exhale. Just give yourself time and space and patience, right? The allowance that it's okay. It's all right. You can't be here. It's all right. You just keep trying. So just back and forth, in and out with the breath. And the eyes might get tired. The eyes might feel heavy. They might need to search a little. Again, it could be anxiety, so they need to sort of round and dart around the room. And then see again if they can find some place to rest the gaze. And then gently allow one foot to come to the floor. So just let it rest. Don't stop the breathing. In fact, you might deepen the exhale. So taking breath in. And on the exhale, really feeling the breath draw the back of the body a little closer to the ground. And then inhale and notice, and you might even sort of just score along the body with the fingers, just gently rubbing. And then as you exhale, sort of parceling the belly down a bit on the exhale. And again, that the body of the breath, right, the fullness of the breath begins to draw down and weight the body a little more into the earth. And then gently, on an inhale, let the left foot come to the floor. So here you might feel a little pinching in the tailbone. So again, just sort of noticing if it's there. You might need to lift to release some of the tension. And then just slightly rocking back and forth. That's it. And see if you can keep the hands in one position, but they're light. So it's really now just feeling that gentle softness as the hands rest on the body. Right? And the pelvis begins to rock. So taking a breath in as you come to center and exhale as the knees go gently towards one side. And then inhale again back to center and slowly passing to the other side. Not coming all the way down to the ground. So it's just this gentle sort of reaching. It's just this sort of tipping the toe in the water a little more each time as you go to the side. So inhale again back to center and exhale to the other side. So all the while, right, incrementally making your way down to the ground. And we're going to turn the head in the opposite direction now. So it's as if the hands were just levitating lightly above the body. They're still touching the body, but there's this very kind of effortless effort, right? Effortless ease as the head goes to one side. Make sure you're not clamping the mouth shut. And then the knees go to the other side. So it's inhale, everything comes back to center. Exhale. Inhale, back to center. Exhale to other side. And then we're going to come back to center on the inhale. And on the exhale, we'll let the legs go to one side. So don't worry so much about which side it is. And then have the head turning in the opposite direction. And then we're going to lift the arm that's on the opposite side of where the knees are turning. So there's no knees on that side, the arm that's going up. And breathing. So here, breathe, breathe, breathe. And again, now you have a hand resting. So let the breath sort of fill, right? And sort of draw into the palm of that hand. And then exhale, release. Inhale, come back to center. That lifted hand goes back to the body. Take a breath in and exhale again. So side to side. And then going to the other side. So inhale to center and then exhale, knees go to the other side. And now here again, the head is turning to the other side, right? Away from where the legs are turned. And then that arm that's on the opposite side of the leg. So it's the face is turning towards that arm. On the inhale, let that arm sort of stretch straight up and kind of rest, right? It's supported a bit by that blanket that you have. And just breathe now. And here again, you might decide you want to rub the belly a little bit. So just noticing, what feels like it might be the right calling. So teachers can't always cue this. You have to follow that very kind of organic voice, right? That authentic voice. You might hear a little bit of background noises. That might be some stomach noises, right? We don't have to apologize for it, but if you're wondering what that is, right? And then take a breath in. Bring everything back to the starting position. Hand to belly. And then just noticing now. So your toes kind of wiggle, release. And just noticing what is happening in the tail. So again, if there's pressure there, you might notice the contour. So on one side, the left or the right side of that tailbone, where is there a little more prominence, right? A little more bony prominence, a little more pressure, right? A little more discomfort perhaps. And then gently allow the right hand to take the right knee, left hand to take the left knee. And gently start to bring the legs towards you. Don't force them. And on the inhale, drawing away. So a bit of working our way into Apanasana. Exhale toward us, really drawing in and back with the lower belly. And releasing. So exhaling to you, inhaling away. Okay, and gently allowing the hands to just let go and hover over the knees and the thighs. Or if they want to support, that's okay. Exhale to you, inhale away. Exhale to you. Drawing in the belly, maybe opening the shoulders. I'm actively broadening. So deciding how active and intense you want this to be. Exhaling to you, you could even firm the thighs to you. And inhale, you could reach the toes. So this is for digestion. We can do this in the morning, and I'm pulling my toes back, if you can see. Some flexion of the feet, some extension, and I'm going to go up. I'm going to reach up, turning my palms in, and I'm going to exhale, bring my head up, right? You can see me. Inhale, reaching and exhaling. And again, I might create those petal-like feet where they pull back, the toes pull back. Inhale, lengthening. Exhale. The knees open, my head goes through there. inhale and exhale. Now stay like this. Stay like this. Just let the feet relax and then bring the head back down. Bring the feet to the mat. And so you still have that pillow underneath you. See if you can bring it under the tail. So under the tail and the buttocks and support. And bring your feet a little closer to you. Right, so more reflective of a bridge, the beginnings of a bridge pose. So on an inhale, let the arms go overhead and sort of encourage the breast line to pick up a little bit. And then on the exhale, draw the breast line down and let the hands sweep towards the pillow or the ground. And they can gently touch. They don't have to be firm and grasping. So on the inhale, so you feel that rocking. The lower ribs, they peak up, right? So it's a tipping of the rib cage upwards, and then exhale, tipping it back down to the ground. And you're actually beginning to firm the belly. So what we have here is this sort of cat that's happening. So inhale, so here's our cow, and exhale. And you might even lift the pelvis a little bit on that. Inhale and exhale. Then one more time. Inhale, arms overhead, leave them, and then stretch your legs out. Stretch your legs out. And see if you can bring one foot to each corner of the mat. And then just one hand sitting in the other hand. And so the arms, the inner arm, right, is near your ears probably. And if it doesn't feel good to have the arms extended as much, then just allow the elbows to bend. And just noticing here too, it might not feel good in your knees, so then just bend. Just bend. I have a Charlie horse that I'm working with, so release it. And then bring the feet back to the mat. Letting the pillow come out, and then roll on your side. Roll on your side and let that pillow come under your head. Okay? So now we have a little more support. And what you want to pay attention to is that the cervical spine is in line with the rest of the spine. So this is actually bending my head up, which I don't want. So I'm going to take it away because it's too much. So I'm going to sort of stuff and plump this blanket under my head, and I got my shoulder comfortably underneath me, and I've got my right arm bent. So the right elbow is extended forward. And then we come onto our right hip. So you sort of want to take a peek and then look and make sure that your knees are coming forward now. So, finding breath. Inhale and exhale. So left hand is on the mat. Just relaxing. Now see if on the inhale you can't press that left hand, spreading the fingers, and then exhale, releasing. So it's as if you were going to lift the rib cage just a little bit, and get up, and then you exhale and release. So inhale. That's 3. Exhale down. Inhale. 4. Exhale down. Inhale. 5. And release that. And then just bring your gaze forward. Begin to flex your feet so the ankles are stacked one on top of the other one. And you can actually bring your legs more to a right angle. Finding breath. And on the inhale, we're going to lift the left leg slightly and push into that hand again. And then as we exhale, we're slowly going to take the energy, the pushing energy of the hand down, and let the leg in synchronicity come down, right? So it's the entire inhale, we feel this pressing energy in the hand down, the lifting of the leg up, and then the entire exhale is down. That's 2. We want the hip not to rock back and forth. So as the leg goes up, the pelvis doesn't stay so stationary. We want it to. And then come down. That's 3. Inhale, pressing. Exhale down. 4. And inhale up. And exhale down. That's 5. And then gently turn yourself back to the ground. And once again, bring the legs to you. This time a gentle crossing of the ankles. Bring the feet away. And ankles cross the other way. That's it. And then come on up. Come on up. And carefully, let's go to the other side. Okay? So, again, you sort of know what we're going to be doing. We're going to come on down. We're going to get this shoulder so that it feels comfortable. And it might not feel good at all on this side, so we always sort of have one side that's not as tolerant as the other one, and it could be on both of yours. So you may need to bring the blanket away and put the arm under the head. Okay, so you sort of determine. Some folks like to put the arm straight up, right, and let the head sit on the bicep. So you kind of see what works for you on this side. And again, trying to get the cervical spine to be in line, right? In one straight axis with the other part. And then, now we had our legs at more of a triangular angle. We didn't have the right angle that we did when we did the arm and the leg press. Leg lift, arm press. Okay, so here we want to, again, sort of, let's just check on our hips again, make sure that they're stacked. So we don't want the right hip rolling forward or back. We want it stationed over the left hip, right? And we've got, again, this sort of nice angle of the legs, more like a triangle, a point, yeah? And then let's more accurately stack our ankles one on top of the other with a little bit of flexion in the feet, perhaps. And then bring that right arm to a right angle in front of you, and you might, I didn't cue this the last time, but we could more uniformly bring the back of the arm closer to the body. So there's a little bit of tension there if you want it. And so if we could, we try to get the elbow over the wrist, okay? And so then again, just get that head in line. And we'll spread our fingers if we can. We can try that. See what we can do to strengthen the hand. And then that right shoulder, let's try to bring it so that it's not hunched up and bunchy. So think about space between the ears and the shoulders a bit more, okay? If you can. I should say okay, like you need to. All right, so here we go. So we did 5 presses with the hand, and on the inhale, and again, it's that slow sort of drawing the energy down on the inhale, and on the exhale, letting it seep out slowly. So it's the full breath. Inhale, pressing down, right, the full allowance. That's 2, right? And then exhaling, releasing. Inhaling, 3. And again, as you do this, sort of get a snapshot of the back, right? The bones, are they still trying to stay in alignment to a degree? That was 3, pressing down, 4. And then exhaling again. So start to think about, trying to control things a little bit more, even when you're in the resting place. 4. I hope it's still 4. I may have lost count. My apologies. And then 5. And then you might just, for a moment, you might need to open and close the hand a little. Could be a little sore, at least for me. And then again, let's sort of change the angle of the legs. So more of a right angle, knees in front of the hips, and then a little more flexion in the feet. And so again, trying to find, so what happens is if we bring the elbow too much forward, right, it rounds the shoulders. So that's why if we sort of kind of cuddle it up a little more against the body, then it also reminds the body, the back of the body, the plane of the body, right, to be a little more broad and flat and not tipping, okay, or rounding, okay. It's just goals, right? Goals, hashtag goals. Okay, ready? So inhale, pressing down, lifting up. Okay, 5 of these. Exhale down. And so it could be, again, a little bit more difficult right on this side because we've added the leg. Inhale, pressing up. And we don't have to go up really, really high. We're not trying to prove anything here. We're trying to tighter the energy, tighter the breath. Inhale, 3. Exhale, really use your core as you bring that leg down, right? Because it's heavy. We know that, so we can use that effort. Inhale. This is 4. Inhale, pressing down, lifting up, and exhale. 5. Excellent. And then gently rolling back onto the floor. And then here we are, bringing our legs to us, letting one leg extend, minus the right leg right here. Exhale, releasing. Inhale, extending the left leg, maybe pointing the toes. And exhale. And then letting your arms come to your sides, palms facing down. So rail arms, parallel, right? They're touching the side of the body. They might even be drawing in. Spreading your fingers as they press into the ground. And then drawing the shoulders open, back of the body broad. Draw the navel center in. And inhale, leaving the feet to touch as they come up. And exhale down. So it's a softness in the feet, okay? Inhale, they are actually reaching. That's where the effort is. And then exhale, releasing. And then one more time. Inhale. And exhale, release. Good. Flexing the feet. Flex the feet. Keep them flexed. Breathing. Take a breath in, and on the exhale with flexed feet, again, now we're really trying to draw the thighs to the chest without the arms. The arms are pressing down, trying to facilitate that. And release. Come on up. Sit. And let's bring our pillow over, and we're going to gently throw our legs up the wall. I'm going to hope that I don't bring my tapestry down and all my thumbtacks. That could be an awkward moment. Now, usually this is cued with bringing a hip to the side of the wall and then allowing the feet to go up. I usually use right angle arms and walk my buttocks towards the wall. So allowing the legs to rest. I still am dealing with a cramp in my foot. Inhale, arms overhead, and you might even find that little pillow and stuff it under your head. You might even, as well, take the blanket and draw it over the belly. So, perhaps allowing the feet to go wider. Finding breath. If you're cold, cover yourself. And just closing the eyes. And again, it's the sounds, right? The sounds all around us. One of the beauty of being in this area is all the trains. We started, there was a helicopter, so just not engaging with everything, but just sort of noticing, right? These are sort of the travails of our life, right? How do we not notice every single thing and let it draw us in? And sometimes it can become a beautiful thing, but frequently it steals from us. So finding the breath, letting the mouth open. So there shouldn't be a lot of effort to support. So if the legs start to, get a little wobbly, you might want to bring them a little more forward. You could even bend them. So this creates a little more compression. And just sort of noticing. And then gently allowing yourself to tip to one side. And coming into Shavasana. So you can choose to not use any support under the head. I am actually going to, this time, put the blanket under my knees. And finding your resting Shavasana. So allowing yourself to sort of roll the shoulders if that feels good for you. And again, find the support that sort of strikes your fancy underneath the head there. So it shouldn't feel sparse and like you're putting up with something. It should feel comfortable. And just letting the mouth soften. And again, if you are able to close the eyes, right? So once we start to take away the visual stimuli, then the body usually is able to follow suit a little more. So just closing the eyes and just moving into the breath. And so just the gentle breathing. Inhale and exhale, finding the balance and trying to keep thoughts from owning you again. So every time a thought comes, just focus on the breath. Connect to the ground, right? Where it touches your body. See if you can sort of maybe follow along the silhouette of the body as it interacts with space and the earth. And see if you can lighten up between the lash line and get a sense of how many eyelashes are on one side versus the other. Where your skin might feel a little more taut or perhaps a little more permeable. So just noticing the beauty of your body tonight and this moment. And then gently just start to deepen the breath. So do it without a lot of thought. Just let the mechanism of the breath, in its own way, support you. And again, not jumping further into thought, what you're going to do after. Just stay here. Start to notice where the dead zones are in your body, right? And again, what feels good? What is hard to tell? Do you feel super long? Super light? Do you feel better at this moment than when you started? So there's not a judgment. It's just a noticing. Just discernment. And then gently start to allow just one foot. Just one foot to start to find the floor. Drag into the floor. And then the other foot. And as you do that, you sort of notice how the hips have changed underneath you. Allow yourself to gently scoot one hip a little bit more so that you can roll to one side. Usually our right side, we say, let that left hand come to the floor in front of you. And just for a moment, just some deep breaths in and out. So it's that exploration again and the revelry, right, as we come off of the back. And now as the body is supported from the front and the back by the ether. Right, how does that feel as you breathe in? Pressing the bounds, right? And as you exhale, and then slowly on an inhale, start to extend the left leg, the top leg, and come on up, and find your seat. And there's not any fancy formal way we're going to do anything. We just want to come to a seated position that feels good. We don't want to sort of constrict in a lot of places. So just sort of notice that you're not going all out, trying to get into the perfect seat. Okay? And then just bring your hands to your heart center. Take a breath in and exhale it out. Another breath in and exhale it out. So we'll do that a few more times, and as you breathe in, the idea is for balance. So as you breathe in, that is a balancing breath. So it's working to stabilize and create harmony and symmetry. And as you exhale, it's the working through, right? The drawing through of what might be the imbalance. So letting that go, not being afraid to let things go. And then just bringing thumb tips to the third eye. And then on an exhale, a bow. Thank you for joining me for class. I'll see you again soon.